Hello everyone and thanks for watching this video. If you have completed the basic learning of Python, then you must be wondering what next? What else I should learn to develop real application in Python? We need to understand the learning Python is just the beginning of Python journey. We need to learn the other third-party libraries to create full-fledged Python projects. In this video, we will see what are the different libraries available in Python. So let's proceed further. I have categorized applications in 9 different categories. So the first one is data science. Python is one of the most widely used library in the data science. So under the data science, there are different libraries which we have to learn to do all the different type of data analysis. The next category is GUI, where basically we can create the desktop application using the third-party libraries and Python. The next category is the games. So yes, the Python support the 2D games. We will see what are the different libraries available to create the Python games. One of the important feature of Python that Python is used to create the web application also. So we have various web frames like Django and Flask available to create the web application. We will see more details about those frameworks in next few minutes. The next important category is the mobile app. So using the Python and libraries, we can create the mobile applications. One of the most important feature of Python that it can be used for machine learning. So we will see what are the different frameworks and the third-party library available for the machine learning. Also remember, in some of the scenarios, we have to use the socket programming and all. Like if we want to send the email, or suppose if we want to create the chat messaging application and all. In those scenarios, we have to do the low-level programming, and in those scenarios, we have to learn the socket programming. The next important area where the Python is very useful, that's the test automation. So nowadays, most of the companies are moving forward to the automation of testing. See, earlier it was taking certain weeks to do the manual testing of the application, but now there are many libraries available where we can automate the test cases. So we will see how the Python can be helpful here. And the last one is the web scraping. See, web scraping is one of the most interesting area in the web world. So we have already know the Google and all. They use the web scraping to collect the data and all. So we will see here that what are the different Python libraries available which we can use for the web scraping. So let's go right to the first category. First category is the data science. So the data science is basically the field which deals with analysis of data using different algorithm functions to extract the knowledge. So moving further, so there are 5 Python libraries available which are very helpful in the area of data science. So basically these libraries are NumPy, Pandas, Matplot library, OpenCV, and the NLTK, which is basically the natural language toolkit. So we will go all the libraries one by one. So the first library is the NumPy. See, remember one thing, in Python we have the collections like list, sets, tuples and all, but we don't have the full-fledged features to create the multi-dimensional arrays and all. So remember one thing, while you are doing the data science, most of the time you need the data in the form of matrices and in the multi-dimensional to do the all the data mining and all. Also, the NumPy arrays are implemented in such a way that it can perform the calculation at the speed of 40 to 50 times compared to the not traditional collection like list. Also, NumPy library provide various features like we have the operation like inverse of matrices, identity matrices, and all those, the matrix multiplication and all. So we can get all this type of mathematical calculations available in the NumPy library. NumPy library provide the functionality to create the n-dimensional array. So NumPy library not restricting you to create the two-dimensional array or three-dimensional array, but you can create the n-dimensional array using the NumPy library. Also, the NumPy library provide various features for the data science like linear algebra, Fourier transform, and all those. So NumPy library is one of the most used library in the Python to do the data science. So NumPy library normally used along with the Pandas and Matplotlib library to perform the different operation in data science and then generate the charts and graphs. So moving further to the next library, that is the Pandas. So as I mentioned that NumPy and Pandas are one of the most used library for the data analysis and manipulation. Also, the Pandas library provide you the feature that you can provide the data in the CSV, Excel, or comma separated files, or even if you want, you can upload the data in some of the servers and all. So Panda offer various features like data merging, reshaping, selecting, and all those. So even if you have the data where you have the millions of record, the Panda can do all the calculation within a few seconds. Now moving to the next library, which is the Matplot library. So Matplot library is basically the two-dimensional library to create the different type of charts and graphs like histogram, line chart, scatter plot, and line plot and all. Also remember one thing, most of the function in Matplot library are similar to MATLAB. And internally, the Matplot library is using the NumPy array to do the fast calculations. So as I mentioned, the Matplotlib library is used along with the NumPy and Pandas to do the data science on the data and then to create the graphs and charts to visualize the data. Moving next, we have the library that is the OpenCV. OpenCV is one of the most useful library for the image and video processing. So using the OpenCV, you can identify the different objects from the images and videos. So if you use the Facebook image upload feature, you must have idea about the face detection feature which you use to tagging the person. So OpenCV provides a similar functionality to detect the human face on the images and videos. It can also be used to process the human handwriting. Also, the OpenCV has various features like image rotation, resizing, age detection, and all. Now, moving further to the next library is the NLTK. NLTK library is basically the natural language toolkit, and this library is used to process the human language data. So if you want to perform data science on human talk, then you have to use this library. This library has various features like tokenization, stemming, and limitation of the text. So these are the most used file libraries in the data science area. So moving forward to the next category, that is the graphic user interface. So graphic user interface libraries are basically used to create the desktop application. So moving further, so under the GUI library, we have the main two library that is the PyQt and the tkinter. So using these libraries, you can create the desktop application for Windows, Mac, and Linux. So these libraries provide you the all the widgets like text boxes, slider, drop down, list box, message box, and all those. So using this library, you can create the real applications like library system, or you want to create the inventory system and all those. So these libraries will be very useful where you want to create the forms and screen to accept the data from the user, or you want to show some output on the screens. Also remember one thing, using these libraries you can create the some of the basic 2D games also. So moving further, the next category is the games. So Python support the 2D games. So under the games, we have the library that we call the Pygame. So the Pygame is basically a cross-platform module to design the video game. Also, the Pygame support the sound libraries to include the music in the videos. Remember one thing, you can run this application on Android phones and tablets also. So using the Pygame, you can create the 2D games like Tetris, 2048, Pac-Man, EXO and all. Moving further, the next category is the web application. So under the web application, we have two very important framework, that is the Django and Flask. One of the most used framework in the Python is the Django. So using the Django, you can create website within few hours, and Django provide ready-made setup and templates. Also, Django provide various security features like SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and all those. Also, one of the various big websites like Instagram, Bitbucket, the Washington Times are using the Django. Moving further, the next framework is the Flask. So Flask is not the full-fledged framework like Django. That this is more like a micro framework, but it is more easy to learn than the Django. So if you are not looking for the all the full-fledged website, but you want to start the website in the quick time, then you can go for the Flask. Some of the companies like LinkedIn and Pinterest are using the Flask for their web application. So moving to next category, that is the mobile. So as I mentioned earlier, that using the Python, we will be able to create the web application, mobile application, as well as the desktop application. So to support the mobile application, we have the Kiwi library. So again, so Kiwi is also the open source library which is used to create the innovative user interfaces such as multi-touch application. So using the Kiwi library, you can easily capture the when the user is touching any part of the mobile application, and then you can implement the logic based on the area of touch. So remember one thing, the Kiwi library support various platforms like Linux, Windows, Mac, Android, iOS, and Raspberry Pi. Now moving to the next category, that is the machine learning. So as we have learned that Python is one of the most used machine learning library in the world. So under the machine learning, we have some of the libraries like TensorFlow, Scikit, and the PyTorch. So we will go to the each and every library individually. So the first library is the TensorFlow. So TensorFlow is basically developed by the Google team, and using the TensorFlow, you can very easily build and train the machine learning module, which are the basic concept in the machine learning area. Also, it is very easy to deploy these models in the cloud or on your on-premises server or even on some of the devices. So TensorFlow is one of the most used machine learning library which is developed by the Google. Moving further, the next machine learning library is the scikit-learn. So scikit-learn provides various features in the machine learning area like classification, regression, and clustering algorithm. So it provides various features like random forest, gradient boosting, and the k-means and all those. Remember one thing, the NumPy library is used inside the scikit-learn for doing many of the calculations. The next important library in the machine learning category is the PyTorch, which is basically developed by the Facebook AI research team. And this library is basically used for computer vision and natural language processing. Now moving to the next category, that is called the socket programming. So remember one thing, there are some scenario where we had to handle the client and server side of scripting. Like we had to create the chat application where we had to handle both the client and server side scripting. In those scenarios, the Twisted library will be very useful, and Twisted library support various type of protocols like TCP, UDP, SSL, TSL, and all those. So some of the companies like Apple, Twitch, and Scrapy are using the Twisted library for different type of operations. So as I mentioned earlier, the Twisted library can be used for the applications like sending the email using SMTP, chatbots, chat room implementations, and all. Now moving further to the next category, which is the testing automation. So as I mentioned earlier, that most of the companies now are preferring the to do the automation of testing instead of doing the manual testing. So in normally the manual testing take the weeks and months, but testing automation provides us the same output within the few minutes. So moving further, so as we all know that Selenium is one of the most used library to perform the automation testing. So the Python can be integrated easily with the Selenium to generate the automated test cases. So remember one thing, the Selenium support many other languages also like Java and all those to generate the automated test cases. But compared to Java, the Python test education take very less time, and also it is more easy to learn the Python compared to Java. Moving to the next category, that is called the web scraping. So as I mentioned earlier, the web scraping is used to collect the data from the website. So basically, using the web scraper, we can extract the data from website, and then we can do our own processing on that data. So as I mentioned earlier, Google and all those search engines basically do the similar thing using the crawlers. In the Python, we have the library Beautiful Soup, which basically extract the data from website. And Beautiful Soup's library support both HTML and XML. So we have covered around 17 libraries in this video, which can be useful in different type of Python application. So based on the your interest and your requirement, you can learn those libraries, and then you can create the real-time application. So make sure you are subscribing this channel to get more details for Python in the future. Thanks to everyone.